Hey, what's up, everyone? It is Morey Croson from the Performance Lab of California, and we have another new breakdown for you today on Baker Mayfield and Phillip Rivers. I had this whole thing that I was planning on saying where I was going to be like, it's my favorite time of the day to do the breakdowns, and I totally went right past it, so I'm going to put it in after I say the whole beginning. But either way, let's get going with the breakdown. Super excited. Really, the big thing here is to just show some of the differences between, like a Phillip Rivers, right? Because Phillip Rivers gets a lot of bad rap for his mechanics in comparison to Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker Mayfield doesn't get any bad rap about it, but I like the idea of, at the end of the day, to be honest with you guys, I mean, it's about making it so we can, get views on this and be able to help people improve. And Baker Mayfield is really good at just getting that the exposure and putting his name out there. So I think because we've done some comparison videos for Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and some of the other big name guys in the league. And so I thought, doing a Baker Mayfield one would be a good ability to get some comparison with some new guys. So anyway, we'll go ahead and hop right into it. We'll start with Phillip Rivers, right? And what I want to just say with Phillip Rivers is that he does a really, really good job of using a lot of the other parts of his body, even though he doesn't have that very prototypical mechanics. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to look at is, or the main thing that I like to look at is just how much time does he overall spend in his release, right? So as soon as he detaches his hand from the ball, right about there, it's, I want to say, I think I said boo, right before that. So 23.71 is when he first detaches from the hand from the ball. And then he spends probably that much time loading, right? So he gets to 23.79 loading, where he's just bringing the ball back as part of the loading phase. And then the rest of it is really the time where it starts coming forward and up. Okay, so this is where he really generates most of his force until he gets the release, and the release ends up being at 24.03 there. Okay, so he ends up spending about 0.32 seconds with his actual release, which is fast, right? I mean, the elite guys, he's right up there with the elite guys, okay, in terms of how long it takes the ball to get out of his hands. He just doesn't spend, a lot of guys spend more time here loading, but he spends a lot more time in that acceleration phase. Okay, and what he's doing is he's really creating a lot of torque through his spine. Look at how much he uses his rotation, just uses his levers in general. He doesn't really get a big push off of that back leg. He keeps that elbow very, very low at the beginning, and that's what makes it so it almost seems like he's like shot putting the ball as he's throwing, but he's able to be very, very smooth as he's doing it. So he gets all this rotation, boom. So now when he actually releases the ball, look at how nice and stable he is up top. He's able to be very, very controlled up top when the ball comes out of his hands, which helps with his overall accuracy. So really putting a big emphasis on the acceleration phase, which is different, because what I'll see is this with a lot of quarterbacks is there's a lot of similarity between their loading phase, going back. Hold on. Sorry. Undo. Let's undo that. Let's make it so you can actually see what I'm writing down. Loading phase. And acceleration phase, which is like the time going forward. See a lot of similarities between those numbers, right? So it's like the overall time getting the ball out of the hands is like 0.4, and it's, 0.18 loading maybe, and then 0.22 accelerating. And that just makes it so it's hard for you to be able to generate the right amount of forces there. There should be a difference where it's like, okay, there's a lot of force being created from this point to this point, right? Because he only spends 0.8 seconds loading, and he spends what is it, point, I think it's like 2.3 there, accelerating, or let's see, let's just do the math. 8, yeah, 0.23 in his acceleration phase. So look at the difference in terms of where the overall, where he puts so much more emphasis here, which is how he's able to create a lot more force. Now, we'll compare that to Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield's here. He lets go of the ball at 3.275, 3.276. Yeah, 3.276. And he loads until probably about there, 3.286. So a little bit longer in his loading phase. And then he's getting the ball out at 3.209. So he spent a little bit more time loading and really about the same amount of time in his acceleration phase. 2.3. Okay, so overall, in terms of who's getting the ball out faster, it seems like that Phillip Rivers is actually able to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker, which is a interesting stat to kind of know about. And then the big things that happens with Baker Mayfield, he has a little bit more of that prototypical throwing mechanics where he's going back, right? He's loading, he's keeping the ball a little bit higher. But look at how much rotation he gets in his lower body, and we've gone over this before. Look at how he really corks that lower body to get his whole overall spine and just body generating force. He's creating a lot of force in the ground, and that's what makes it so he's able to have that elite level arm strength, even though he's not as big of a guy, right? We're looking at two very different guys in terms of overall size and stature. Phillip Rivers is 6'5", and Baker Mayfield's about 6 foot. And so, but they're still playing at a very high level, and you could just see some of the big differences why even though they have very similar times in terms of their loading phases, their acceleration phases, they're very different in how they're creating force. Look at how much more torque Baker Mayfield is creating, rather than, I'm just going to clear this off here, rather than where with Phillip Rivers, he's not creating near as much torque in the lower body. I mean, he does get some rotation going there, but most of his rotation is getting created in the upper body, where, again, Baker Mayfield is creating force in that upper body, but it's just very, very lower body base. Look how much rotation and pivot he gets off that back leg to really be able to deliver the throw and still be able to be very, very accurate. I mean, he hits the ball where that ball is thrown right on the money there. So, yeah, there ends up being a lot that goes into different people in their throw. The big thing that you want to start understanding, or the big thing that I think that we do that could really add some clarification, is really get technical with the numbers. Where exactly are you at from that part of your actual throw, and by really understanding exactly what that looks like, because there's honestly more to it than just the release and the load and those numbers there. There's what is the time between when your foot hits the ground and then the ball gets out of your hand, and where's the overall position of your arm, how's your kinetic sequencing. There's a lot of things that end up really needing to play out very well in order for you to maximize your overall throwing mechanics. We just can go into a little bit of it with these videos, but I'd highly recommend, if you're watching this, to check out some of the other videos that we talk about with the kinetic sequencing and the throw and how you're generating force, just because that gives a lot of clarity in terms of, okay, what exactly am I talking about here, and then how can you get some clarifications and just some actual explanations. So we have a lot of videos that could help you out there. And then, as always, go and check out our throwing videos. We have a lot of cool things that we're doing right now for the throw program. We're actually looking even into being able to provide some recruiting services for people too. So if you guys are interested in any of this type of stuff, go ahead and sign up for the throw program. We're doing a free 7-day promotion for at least the rest of the week. I don't know if we're going to end up doing something new for next week, but for this week, we're going to give you guys a free 7-day trial to get started and hope to provide more value to you guys. So If you guys have any interest, you can go ahead and email me or just check out the link and we can get started today. Talk to you soon. So much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, you can subscribe down below, and that way you can get updates on any of the new videos that we get. Also, if you want to, you can check out some of our other breakdowns for speed and throwing. We have exercises, also jumping mechanics videos, a lot of great stuff within our channel. Hope you enjoy.